Today's Titus podcast is brought to you by Harry's.com. That's right, the best razors out there. And Christmas is coming, and you're going to have that one weird relative show up, and no one's going to have a gift for him. But you're going to be smart, and you're going to order an extra Harry's gift set and hand it to him. And by the way, if you use promo code Titus, you get $5 off your first order, and you won't believe this, free shipping until December 10th. And now, with the Armageddon update, it's me! I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon update. And lo and behold, we are still running in place here at the Titus Podcast. A couple of big shootings this week, one of them right near a comedy club Bombshell and I work frequently. You know, I think we have beat this whole too many guns, too many shootings things to death, basically. And every time I talk about it, whether I say I'm not anti-gun, I'm anti-douchebag, or I say I'm just anti-death of innocent people, the pro-gun, pro-do-nothing, pro-let the killing continue, people start labeling me. You know, libtard, socialist, faggot, limp dick, or pussy. You know, it's an amazing litany of labels. Then I call them warmonger, republicard, Nazi, limp dick, and pussy, which I find amazing because you could really say, in some ways, we're on the same page. We're both limp-dicked pussies. You know, I'm tired of labeling people because if you analyze any label, you can find good things. Liberals believe that the government should be active in supporting social and political change, you know, relating to or supporting political liberalism, which means really making sure everybody's taken care of so they don't starve or die on the street. They support excessive education, making everyone live together in harmony. Doesn't sound that bad to me. Now let's look at the conservative. It means, you know, tending to, you know, disposed of or maintaining existing views, conditions, or institutions, which means keeping things like they are, a strong country, traditional values of family, and the strength of our democracy, making people handle themselves, take care of themselves, and succeed by their own efforts. And that doesn't sound bad to me. So I'm going to give you guys a new label. I am now a conservocrat. I believe that people should handle their business, pick themselves up, and live a successful life, and then help some people below them who can't help themselves. I believe that we should have a strong military and a strong education so we're smart enough to not go to fucking war. I'm a conservocrat. I believe that America is at its best when it is working hard and helping those who can't. Not who won't help themselves, who can't help themselves. I also believe in personal freedoms. You get to choose it, all of it. Who you marry, who you sleep with, who you worship. Also, you get to choose what you do with your body as long as you don't show people pictures of what you've done with your body on your cell phone. So to you Republicards and Democreeps, you guys can suck it. I am starting a third party, the Conservocrats. We will take the best of both and make something that is sane, positive, and good for everybody. Yeah, I know. It'll never work. Hey, but at least we got a new label. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Hey everybody, Titus Podcast. We are here high above the city of Cincinnati. We're doing a road podcast, which we've never done before. With me, as always, is the beautiful Bombshell.
What's up, people?
And over there is the Fetus.
Hey!
Yeah, we are sitting in a hotel room at the, what is this hotel?
This is the Renaissance in Cincinnati.
And it's
downtown,
a monster. It is a badass hotel.
One of my all-time favorites, I think, actually.
I feel like we're living the Jay-Z, Beyonce life right now.
Yeah, so I don't feel exactly like that, but
I do.
But I do think it's a nice room.
I was raised a lot lower class than you.
Okay.
So to me, I'm stoked. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about a little bit. We're talking about that today. We had another shooting, a big monster shooting. It was huge. 14 people dead, and it could be, we're not sure if it's just crazy people or terrorists or crazy terrorists or crazy terrorist people. I'm not sure. And what happened was I got in a big argument on Facebook, as I always do, or on Twitter, and it's amazing to me how people think it's okay that people are dead. They'd much rather keep their political beefs ahead than, hey, can we stop people dying? And people are just like, you know what, man, we can't do anything. Bad people are still going to be bad people. Exactly. But we make it harder for bad people to get bad stuff, and then they do less bad stuff. Discuss.
Supposedly. I don't know. I think that this is a tough one, and I think that we really talked about this ad nauseum. But
Well, then, so you know what I think you are? You're a conservative freak who doesn't have a point of view. And you, fetus, you're someone who is just a pussy who doesn't want to say it. I'm just labeling everybody.
That's probably accurate.
That's the whole point. It's all labels. No one can just be a sane human being that goes, hey, isn't killing people bad? Oh, really, liberal? You really think killing people's bad? You libtard? And I'm just going, guys, I'm not.
So I talked to my dad today on the phone. My dad is
hardcore conservative.
Hardcore conservative. But he's also very intelligent. Watches Fox News.
I like that you had to say he's conservative and he's intelligent.
But it's kind of, they've become separate in the last 6 years, maybe. It's like where if you say hardcore conservative, a lot of people automatically think, oh, he's stupid then. Buries his head in the sand, doesn't pay attention, loves Rush Limbaugh, like whatever, right? So,
but to a degree, there's some people like that.
Of course, that's I'll say it again, every stereotype came from a place of truth, and you can get mad at that all you want, but the reason stereotypes become stereotypes is because they were seen over and over.
Yeah, and on the left, there's some 300-pound lesbian that if you say the word black, she says no, you say enslaved American.
Those people make me crazy too.
Right, exactly.
It's those people. You were on Twitter. I've totally gotten sidetracked, but you were on Twitter and you were talking to Margaret Cho, and you were telling Margaret Cho that she had amazing balls to stand up for what she stood up in, and that she wasn't being a pussy.
Yeah.
And some lesbian liberal chick came after you. You and Margaret Cho were having a love fest. No need to fight or troll or anything. And she was upset because you used balls in a positive way and pussy in a negative way.
Right.
And I was like, how far can we go? How far can we nitpick?
Well, we could, if we tried, we could actually nitpick everything, which we were starting to do now to a point. But my thing is black and white. Dead people, we need to stop that. We need to stop having dead people in schools and in just public places where people are just having a fucking Christmas
party. That's what I was going to say. So my dad, retired Marine officer, hardcore NRA card, gun carrying. He was teaching me to shoot when I was very little, my brother and me. Your
sonogram, you're holding a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I remember
weird?
that. I saw that. It's framed. No, it's not weird. It's on the piano. I think it's that your sonogram's on the piano is weird at his house, but that you're holding a gun, totally natural.
He was just so proud at the way that I was holding it already, that I didn't put my finger on the trigger. I held it down the barrel. I mean, he was really proud at the way that I held it.
Even in the womb, you were that good.
Yeah, of course. So anyway, he said today, something has to be done. Something's wrong. Something has to be done. Right. Fox News is on in the background while we're talking.
You can literally hear.
No, I could. Yeah. I'm not kidding. But he said something has to be done. But then he said what everyone is saying, and it's true. It's absolutely true, that the only people that will follow the regulations are the law-abiding citizens.
But that's a straw man. That is not true. Criminals aren't doing this. Here's the thing. Criminals aren't doing this. Who's doing this is some young white kid who's got his gun from his mom who's kept it in a closet instead of locking it up. Who's doing this is James Holmes. Who's doing this is Adam Lanza.
That's
who's
what
doing
I said
this?
to him.
Who's doing this? Criminals are just going to keep being criminals. You're right. Why?
That's what I
That's
told him. It's
why
not...
they're called criminals. They're going to keep doing bad stuff. But if we start listing guns, here's my plan. So biometric guns. People say, biometrics don't work. Yeah, they do. They work on 1 billion phones. And if we put them on guns, the gun manufacturers make sure they work.
Unless you drop them in the toilet.
Yeah, what you did the other day on your phone.
My gun, not my phone.
But is your fingerprint reader working again?
My fingerprint reader is working, but my phone doesn't ring.
By the way, if you've got your gun out over a toilet, it's a problem. You shouldn't have your...
Hey, man, I hadn't slept. We're on tour. We're in... Where are we?
Cincinnati.
2 N's, 1 T. Which is like that should be the 8th wonder of the world, how to spell freaking Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Holy, see, Fetus is
or restaurant.
vigorously
I have a problem
agreeing.
with restaurant, too.
Restaurant, fine, that's obvious.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Trau, Trau, restaurant, or is it restaurant?
Restaurant.
I know, restaurant. I don't get it.
It's because all you rednecks say restaurant. It's in the restaurant. It's Cincinnati, 2 N's, 1 T. I just want to impart that information to everyone. I finally have figured it out.
So you dropped it through your phone, and the fingerprint reader still works. So that's the thing. So biometric guns, whatever the technology is, we make it so only you can operate your gun. That, by the way, if we can do, and we can put it, if Elon Musk is landing rockets back on space, and so is Jeff Bezos, if we can actually clickety-clack, and I can talk to anybody in the world on Skype, I'm sure we can figure out with a little bit of tech how to figure out so only you could fire your gun. I'm sure that would be easy to. So we make it so the gun can only be fired by you. Whether it reads your pulse, whether it reads your DNA, whatever it does. I'm sure we could figure that out, right?
Sure.
Okay, so we figured that out. Then here's what that eliminates. That eliminates your kids getting shot by picking it up. That eliminates your burglar,
your dog shooting you,
your dog stepping on it, which happened a couple weeks ago. Dog stepped on a rifle and shot the dude. It takes out the guy who breaks into your house and grabs your gun from shooting you. It stops a whole lot of stuff. There we go right there. Then what we do is you have to register your gun every year. People always say this, hey man, cars kill people too. That's what I was getting. Cars kill people too. Okay, I'm with you. Tell you what, let's do everything that cars have to do. Okay, if you want a gun, you have to register it every year. Every couple of years, you have to re-up your ability. You have to go on a range and shoot and let them know that you know what you're doing. You also have to have insurance, like you do on your car. We'll call it incident insurance. If there's an incident, you have insurance to cover something that goes wrong. There you go, 3 things right there. Just those things right there. Also, Ray's got a great one. Bombshell's got this amazing thing where she says that, so psych eval, 10 questions. You get 10 questions every year at your registration. And by the way, just like cars, you have to go sit in the DMV and be feeling like it. And then how many new jokes we have? I was at the gun registration today. Oh my God, people are idiots. You could have some great stuff to talk about.
So let me ask you a question.
Yep.
And I just want to make this clear.
Yeah.
You saying that we need to do all of this, and the argument in place is that only the law-abiding citizens are going to do this anyway.
People that want guns are going to do this. The big, fat, dumpy ass, boonie hat wearing who's never in the military, obese fucker that's walking through Denny's with a long rifle is not going to be able to do that anymore. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying some of the problem is that now will we stop gun violence? No, but Japan has made it really hard to get guns. They had less than 5 killings, 5 gunshots.
There is the argument of, and every woman will get this, the donuts in the house you might eat. If you can't have donuts in the house, they're not in your plain view, then you're going to figure something else out. You're not going to eat the donuts. Guns being so readily available to people that might have that inclination
to go crazy and do something stupid.
They're not just going to be something in America that are lying around on every surface in people's houses.
Because there's crazy people in Japan. There was a guy in a truck that took a truck through a building. He was insane. He killed like 8 people, with a truck. But it's a lot harder to do that. It's a lot rarer to do that. Rarer. More rare? It's a lot more rare?
Try and say that. That was in Japan?
Try to say rarer in Japan. It's a lot rarer. Very rarer. Well, I can't say that. It doesn't happen often. So there we go. Then psych eval. You do a psych eval, 10 questions. And then the last thing you have to do, just like when you apply for a loan for a house or a loan for a car, you have to put down references. Now, Bombshell wants 10 people that that would say, yeah, he's cool. He's not going to use his gun to kill anybody. And you have to put 10 people down. Although Fetus and I argued with her, we said, I don't know if I have 10 friends, but I have 5 family members and maybe 5 friends. Now, just to be honest, I don't have 10 people that would say, yeah, he should have a gun. I just don't have that.
Yeah, no.
There's no. I mean, we all agree. I agree. I would say Titus shouldn't have a gun. I would put that right down on the paper.
I would request for you specifically extensive training.
Yeah.
Target practice, safety classes, and possibly Xanax prescription.
But just so you know, when I was out at Warhorse, when I was touring Iraq and I was doing shows in Iraq, I went to Warhorse. They gave me a automatic weapon.
Yeah, I know.
I hit 30 out of 30.
I mean gun safety, and I mean Ritalin. Like, I need you to not be at a 15.
Moving a lot slower.
I need you at a 10. You're very reactive. If you're going to have a weapon, because you actually do have the weapons that you have at your ready disposal, e.g. horn in your car, you have actually broken from punching from using too much.
I avoided the warranty on my horn repeatedly.
And you drive that mofo around Los Angeles, doesn't he? Like, it's a torpedo.
Oh, I had an incident the other night. I'm admitting this. I've had an anger issue recently, and you know what it is? It's I don't know if it's my midlife crisis coming on. We had a guy, so we pulled into Cincinnati. Not Cincinnati. What was it? Where were we at? Fetus, what town was that?
Hartford.
Connecticut. We were in Connecticut. So there's this guy in front of us we're in the rent-a-car, nice rent-a-car. Guy, he's on his phone. You can see through his back window that he's on his phone. Light turn greens, he sits there. It's a green light. He's sitting there. And we have to make the light. We're trying to get the sound check. So I went, beep. I just gave him beep. I didn't give him meh. I didn't lay on it. I went, beep. I did not lay on it.
Let the record show that Fetus is actually disputing this testimony.
Are you disputing it? Did I give him a long hunt?
You did a long honk and a go! You're yelling.
Okay, all right. So I did that. So it's my normal thing. I did that. It wasn't a long honk. I disagree. It was a beep. I've never done a bam. I didn't do that.
The prosecution is now going to call in another witness, Rachel Bradley.
You weren't there.
But Rachel Bradley has been there in those situations for almost 10 years, and she's coming in as a character witness.
Oh, Your Honor, I object to this witness. This witness was not on the list earlier, so I would like to say that this witness cannot have her testimony heard.
Overturned.
Ah, God.
Thank you.
Overruled and not overturned.
I've never been in court. I'm not experienced as you.
He's
That's right.
never been in court.
You really didn't have like a weird, like up in the country where you lived, you didn't sit around the fire and have the council meet?
No tribal council.
No, tribal council. Okay. So what happens? So I pull around the guy, and it's basically I ran into another me. I would say I didn't run into me. I ran into a me plus 5. Pull around this guy. He's already mad dogging me. He got his window down. I look back at him, and he's screaming at me already. What? You got a fucking problem? That's what he's yelling at. You got a fucking problem? So I rolled down the window. I said, yeah, dude, why don't you get off your phone and drive? And then at that point, pull over. And then it started. And then the guy followed us down the thing, and I slammed on my brakes. He slammed on his brakes. We pull into now we're in the mall parking lot at this point. He stops at the mall entrance, gets out of his car. We were just turning, so I drove to the mall. I'm pulling into the back door of the club. The guy pulls up, gets out of his car. Now, I trained for a long time. I'm like, okay, I'm not that afraid of anybody, except this guy gets out of the car. I'm 6'2". Would you estimate 6'7", 6'6"?
I would say that's a fair assumption.
So this dude,
huge.
he's way bigger than me, and I go into fighting stance. I'm like, oh, shit. And all in my head I'm thinking is, okay, all right, do what you can before you get killed. That's all I'm thinking. Do what I can before I get killed. And the dude, it was the weirdest response. The guy walks up. I went into fighting stance, and he goes, and I switched real quick, because he walked at me again, and he stopped. And he looked over at the Panera Bread that we were in front of, and he looks at me. Then he looks at Fetus, who's now on his phone. Fetus is actually backing me up, but he's filming it for YouTube, so at least we got something to show.
I had 911 up.
Oh, you had
It
911?
looked like I was filming.
Oh, that's even better, though. Next time, film and dial 911. Do both. So, and I switch, and the guy looks at me, and he goes, what are you, fucking dancing? And I go, no, I'm not doing anything. What are you going to do? Come on. And the guy looks, he goes, oh, great. You come up here and do it in public? You want to do this shit in public? I'm like, I'm just going to work, man. And he goes, fine. And he gets in the car. He yells pussy one more time, another label, and he drove away. Now, I want the definition of pussy laid out a little bit. Isn't that mean if you leave, wouldn't the guy who just leaves, is he a pussy?
Sometimes they say that's being the bigger person.
Oh, leaving. So I'm the pussy because I was ready to fight. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. Hey, I didn't get my ass kicked, so I'm fine. But I will tell you this. It made me think later on that I am a grown man doing stuff that an 18-year-old kid does. Got to stop it. Your Honor, I plead guilty.
Oh, well, what should his punishment be, Feedy?
I am not qualified to make the verdict.
He's still scared of you.
Yeah, well, the weirdest thing was the weirdest thing was that the guy he turned and walked away. It was one of those guys. It was one of those guys that he's so big and he's been so crazy for so long that nobody wants to fight him. So when I stood up to him, he was like, "Oh wait, you're actually going to fight," and I was in fighting stance, and he was like, "Oh shit, what's this guy doing?" And then I don't think he wanted to fight. I think he's never had to fight. He was too big. I don't think he's never ever had to fight. Fetus, as we drove away, Fetus goes, that guy's just a bully who's never had someone just stand up to him.
I would just say that if you regularly find yourself in your automobile on a day-to-day basis, engaged in these sorts of situations, engaged in yelling, using your horn, upset, tense, stressed out, screaming, stuff like that, then maybe you're the problem. That would be I would say that this would be time for some self-eval.
I did. We had a long talk yesterday, didn't we?
We did.
We did, and I've self-evaluated.
You have.
And I didn't like the results of the evaluation at all.
I got it.
I was quite frightened of it, and so I am now. By the way, I am now Gandhi of the highways.
Again.
Just so you know, please, no, go ahead, no, go take your time. Don't worry, You can go. The light is green, but you wait. Maybe green is not your color. You could be colorblind. Oh, I am the Gandhi of the highways. Continue on.
He's shaking his
Don't
head
wait.
at you.
Go, please go. Stop shaking your head. I
You
can
were
change.
a little tense today a couple times, but you didn't.
I can
See,
change.
he's agreeing again.
Today, as of right now, after going over this one more time, I have decided that I am the Gandhi of the highways. Please, take your time. No. Take your time. No. 2 lanes. Stop in the middle. I don't care. Stop in the fast lane. No big deal. I will wait for you. You know why? Because at the end of the day, we all are going to the same place. Hell.
No, wait,
What?
Gandhi
No.
wouldn't have said that.
Well, Gandhi got a little tense on the highway. So I'm tired of labels. You know, just because someone points out that we've had more shootings than days in the year doesn't make them a libtard, doesn't make them a socialist. Just because somebody is saying, I believe that people should actually pick up themselves by their bootstraps, get a job, and pay their own way, that doesn't make them a Nazi or a conservative idiot. I just believe we've gotten to this place where the extremes have taken over, and most people I know are just dead in the middle. They're like, I believe I should work hard and make a good living and be okay, and just because I believe that someone shouldn't make $700 million for doing a job that anybody could do because they actually took advantage of a loophole in a law and then they ripped off $300 million and didn't go to prison. I believe that doesn't mean I'm again a socialist. It means no fairness across the board. That's what do you think? No, I'm tired of labels.
It's the labels that separate us, and so that's why we can't get anything done.
Well, you're an
Everybody
idiot.
wants
See,
to
I labeled
blame
you.
Obama, but I told my dad today it's actually that we have a Congress that disagrees because of these labels, and so we can't get anything done. No one can agree on anything anymore. It's divided us.
We don't even have there's guys that are supposed to be running agencies that have no but they won't vote these guys in, so the government doesn't work. What they're doing is they've been planning for a long time to seem to make the government not work, which they're doing.
And I want to say this because people have really attacked you and said things. A guy said that he hopes that you get killed on stage, shot on stage. He's glad that your mother and
Don't
sister
get me wrong,
are
I've
dead.
died on stage before.
So have I recently. That they're burning in hell, your mother and sister, stuff like that. So people, a little nutty.
That was great, though.
But you're never saying we shouldn't have guns. You own a gun. It's not the issue. What we're saying is that there's a problem.
Right.
These people in San Bernardino got assault rifles through a loophole. So I would say maybe that's a place to start.
Right.
Loopholes in the law that are still allowing people to buy or obtain assault weapons.
Right. And they also had 4,500. They were stockpiling ammunition. That's another issue. People say that, and then they interviewed some gun people and said that's not a lot of ammunition. You can use a couple hundred rounds that are just on a day at the range. Really? 4,500 rounds is not a lot of ammunition?
Yeah, it might be excessive.
That seems a bit excessive.
They bought these rifles through the bullet button loophole. It allows rifles that would ordinarily be prohibited to be manufactured and sold if they have a button release feature, since their magazines are then considered fixed rather than detachable. So, problem. Why don't we start there?
So the difference between buying that gun and not buying that gun is instead of just pulling the magazine out, you have to hit a button and then pull the magazine out?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, well, yeah, sort of.
Is that right?
They
Never mind. The magazines are fixed in, so it's not like a quick reload like you normally would with magazines. It's not like
It's
bang,
not
bang.
detachable. It's a
Yeah.
fixed
Oh.
magazine.
Fixed in.
And the magazines can hold up to how many, 30 rounds?
Depends on the state.
Uh-huh. So basically they can only shoot 30 people, and then it's going to take them 30 or 40 seconds to
I don't
reload.
think California law is 30 rounds anyway. It's only like 12 or 9 or something.
Not only that, but these certain caliber rifles had the power to penetrate ballistic vests and walls. So why, if there's a loophole, okay, let's just start with why are those guns being manufactured for sale?
Right.
That's
That's
problem.
military. That's a military
It's
weapon.
a military
That's a military weapon.
Strictly and only for.
Yeah.
Why would so all of these gun nuts can say that they can have guns? I'm fine with that. I have a gun. I've been shooting guns since I was very small, like I said. But why do you need a gun that can shoot ammunition that will go through a ballistic vest? Why? Explain that to me. Is that helping you on the range?
Let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you why right now. Because there's going to be a day when this government's going to decide to take these people down. And when this government stops being un-American and they start coming after you, and they're going to come after your guns, and then one day we're all going to be put into camps, FEMA camps, and you know what we're going to be doing? We're going to be making shoes for the Chinese. That's what's going to happen. We're going to be manufacturing shoes and televisions for the Chinese, and the government's going to take all our money. And we're going to die slow, and it's going to be like a Nazi death camp. That's why I have a gun that can shoot through a ballistic vest.
I hate that you make all dumb people Southern.
No, but but you said all cliches are based in truth. So wouldn't you say that the voice I just did in when it comes to guns, that's the voice? Because, by the way, this voice is another voice that doesn't seem to make you upset at all. And I will say this. I
love that guy.
These people who have guns, oh my God, are they crazy? The government's going to take our stuff? My God, the government, for God's sakes, can't even figure out how to do a fucking website. I've got my own fucking website. You can go to it right now. It's everythingsequal.com and fuck anybody who thinks it isn't .org. Check it out. It's beautiful.
That's what I was thinking yesterday. I think people, this whole gender neutral thing now, this whole new trend of gender neutral where you can't even
I think it's really
self-identify
it's really fringy
as a specific gender. I don't think it's totally fringy. It's seeping in, it's permeating, and it's like these PC people want us to end up as one gender, one nationality. We're all the same. We're not really from anywhere. We're all the same inside. So no gender, no heritage,
culture.
No culture, no fun. That's what PC people want. I like fun.
You just labeled people like I said not to do that.
I like that, but I'm not pointing at a specific person and saying you are this. I'm saying there's a group of people out there. Can I say that?
Yeah. There is a group of people
Figuratively speaking, there's a group of people out there that are like that. It's the chick that told you that you can't say that someone has balls for standing up for rape victims, and which is what you were telling Margaret Cho.
Right.
And because you're identifying the male anatomy as a positive thing, and that's not fair.
Yet it's in our culture that's what it kind of means.
And anyone that's ever played with balls knows that it's pretty awesome. So, I mean, what are you going to say? No, those aren't special and super fun and should be reproduced in Toys R Us?
My brain switched to an entirely different chapter.
Fascinating. They are fascinating.
Balls are fascinating.
Fascinating. They are.
I will say so are pussies.
Well, you don't have to use that word.
Well, that's the word. The other word I said quit being a pussy. So
I don't like it.
I just don't like that we've all. I mean, at what point? I mean, it was shocking to me that after Newtown nothing happened, and now we've got this other thing.
This shooting actually was deadliest one since Sandy Hook.
Yeah. The Newtown was 22. This was 14. That it's becoming such. What I don't want people to forget, is don't forget that this isn't normal. And yet it's becoming normal. This isn't normal. In Canada, this would shut Canada down. In Australia, they had one shooting. It was 35 people got killed on it was on a tourist resort. And they shut it down. The country had the moral obligation to itself. The country said, hey, guys, we're not going to do this anymore. All right? Everyone, we're going to turn our guns in. We're going to make it a lot harder to get guns. And then we're going to do it. Or as Jim Jeffrey says, fuck off. I like guns.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because the predominance of people it hasn't happened to yet. So they're going to keep saying, they're just close your eyes, offering up hopes and prayers and move on. And then it's going to happen to those people, and it's happening quickly. It's really happening on the regular. There's another one today where they took hostages in Wisconsin. While I'm talking to my dad on the phone, it's on the news in the background.
So you're actually talking about the problem of gun violence in America and people shooting innocents. And as you're talking on the phone, on television, there's a new incident of people taking hostages and shooting innocents.
Yes.
So I'm laughing, but the world is absurd.
I actually tweeted this
a
couple days ago. I said, welcome to 2015, where you can go to a Christmas party and get shot, except you can't call it a Christmas party because someone might get offended.
Yeah, got to be a holiday party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go get shot. Enjoy that. But we're not going to care or talk about it because it didn't happen to us.
Well, so anyway, guys, I just want everyone to know, don't label you. Look, if the guy sitting across the bar from you doesn't vote the same way you vote, when you talk about people dying, I think we all agree that it shouldn't be happening for no reason. A lot of people can say, well, this guy was a terrorist. Yeah, but Adam Lanza wasn't. James Holmes wasn't. Jared Loughner wasn't. They were just people that had easy access to guns. So you people that are gun people, do you have the heart and the balls to take the time to pass the psych eval, to register your gun every year, to be a badass and requalify? Because I'll tell you what, my brother-in-law hit 250 shots center mass at 100 yards. That's how he qualified for his gun.
My bro?
Yeah.
He is actually in a training right now where he is getting his ass kicked and kicking ass. It's hilarious. He keeps sending me pictures of bruises and his knee is blown. Full-blown hand-to-hand combat. Now today he said that they came after him with a shock knife.
Oh, no.
And he said, yes, it's exactly as it sounds. And he said, all I can tell you is the guy never had a chance to touch me with it.
Good.
But his legs are covered in bruises and
Agent
stuff.
Pink Squashy is a monster, though. And that's
Yeah.
another thing, too. When people listen to this, you guys got to know I am coming from a dead center place right now. You know, I have my uncle, UDT, which was with Turn of the Navy SEALs. I got my nephew currently. He's embedded with a SEAL group. I have an uncle. Oh, well, he's not really my uncle. He was kind of with my aunt for a long time. But he actually came into his house, and he shot 2 burglars in his house. Now, the difference between him and every other idiot with a gun is Uncle Ray, he actually trained every week. He would go to the range and fire 200 shots every week. Then, once a month, he would go out in the hills and train with a guy that was on LAPD SWAT. That's what he did. So when the guys were in his house and the guys that were burglarizing his house were unarmed, he came in at low ready, and he described it. It was weird. He took me through it after it happened, and it was like literally walking down the hall with a cop. And the LAPD that showed up after Ray did this said to him they were shocked. They said most police officers only hit 3 out of 7. Ray hit 5 out of 7. So if you're well trained, then you'll have no problem registering your gun. You'll know what you're going to use it for when you need it. Criminals will always be criminals. We're not going to stop that. What we are going to stop is some video game psychopath or some idiot who just decides that he's going to join ISIS because he went online to eisisharmony.com and joined them. You know, we're going to stop that guy. And if we can just get the death rate from 12,000 to 18,000 a year to 500, wouldn't everybody be happier?
Yes.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right.
I'm Christopher Titus.
And I am a conservocrat.
Yeah.
And now.
Well, actually, this episode is brought to you by Harry's, as we said in the beginning.
Can I say something?
Yeah, but you have to make sure that because they sent you their holiday shaving set, which we are now allowed to talk about. And
first of all, it's wicked cool. Shows up in a box. It looks like you got it at like a high-end store. That was really cool. It was only, how much was it? It was only, the set was how much?
What?
How much was the holiday box?
That they sent it to you for free to try.
I know, but what can they order it for now?
Well, you can get it's all different price points depending on what you get, but you get the starter set for $15 until you use promo code Titus, and you get $5 off of that.
So whatever it is, I'm not sure how much a holiday set is, but it wasn't that expensive. People, I got to tell you about these razors. So I was at home, and I had the Mach 3. I had the Gillette Mach 3, which, by the way, I was in the store the other day. I'll go down the razor aisle. To get 4 of those blades was $12. 4 of those blades were $12. And I had to get the guy to unlock it with a chain. It's got a chain on it. It's got a bicycle lock on it. For Harry's, you get 3 blades, a razor, the handle, the shaving cream or the gel, and it's only, with the Titus code, it's $10 for everything. So I've shaved with the Mach 3. It's okay. It's fine. I'm shaved. I get my new set. I use my new Harry's razor. I have not had a better shave. I'm not kidding this. I'm not making this up because we're doing the ads for him. I was like, oh my God. And then 2 days later, we were going to go on the road trip, and I couldn't find it. And the shave was so good, I started to panic that I couldn't find my Harry's razor. I found it. I'm in. We're good.
You told me about this. You said, I actually had anxiety. They sent you, so there's this new bag that comes, like travel bag, which you're using. There's, you got like this heavy duty metal rose gold razor. It's crazy. It's copper plated, actually. It's a razor handle. You get a couple of the cartridges. You get the shaving cream or the shaving gel, which we love. It's the cool travel kit that holds everything, which is great for us because we travel. Then it still comes in that box. It looks so cool now. The box, it latches, and it's already wrapped. You don't have to wrap it because it's wrapped, right? And they sent us something new, that the face wash. It's this peppermint man, I am in love. I gotta say, I'm in love. Yeah. But you have been getting in the car and going, today, actually, you go, feel my face. Feel my face.
It was 2 days ago.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was great.
It was awesome.
So Harry's.com, people go to Harry's.com and get it. Use promo code Titus, and it's going to save you some money. And honestly, you're getting a killer product.
And free shipping for holiday time, to arrive at holiday time, ends on December 10th. So act now. Harry's, HARRYS.com, promo code Titus.
Don't forget to buy an extra one for when that one person you didn't expect to show up on Christmas shows up, and you go, oh, we got you something. Boom. It'll save you everybody a lot of embarrassment.
Bam.
All right, guys. And now, from sea to shining sea, continent to continent, and sometimes space, it's Bombshell Rae with the Bombshell News.
Yeah, so there is a naked guy in a box. The artist, have you heard about this guy?
No, this isn't David Blaine doing something stupid again. David Blaine always likes to climb in a box. It's a cold box, hot box, wet box. He just gets in a box.
23-year-old art student named Almar Atlason. He announced that he was going to live stream an entire week of himself confined naked in a glass box. It's part of a class project at the Iceland Academy of the Arts. So it's on YouTube if you want to go see. But he decided to masturbate while in the glass box.
I have to talk about art for a minute, if you don't mind. Listen, this has gone on for a long time. Years ago, there was some guy who basically built a plexiglass crucifix and then peed in it. That was art. Yeah, it was in New York. I have to talk about art for a second. We have such a loose definition of art in this world right now. To me, art is something that changes minds or gives insight into something that you weren't thinking about before. Great art makes you see something different. A naked dude, narcissistic bullshit move, masturbating in a plexiglass box, is basically something homeless people do all the time, and it's just not art. Listen, the definition of art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in the visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty and emotional power. Now, a naked dude masturbating in a box is not beautiful, and there is no emotional power. If anything, it's the saddest, weakest thing I've ever seen in my life. If you're going to masturbate, for God's sake, lock yourself in a room, do it in the darkness by yourself. That's how a real man masturbates. It's not art at all.
What?
It's not art. It's just not art. Art is, when you create something amazing. I have a big problem with certain minimalistic art, too. Big white canvas with a red dot in the corner. Not art. If I can look at it and recreate it, it's not art.
Installation art, my mom has a problem with too, where installation is where you have objects and you group them together in a certain formation and then you say that's art. So at her university at SCAD, when she was graduating, she had these paintings that she had worked on for months and months and months.
We have them hanging in our house.
Yeah, one dude that had put a twin-size bed with white sheets and a red bookmark lying on the bed, and that was art, and that stood for something, and people were standing around it like, it's so amazing, it's so beautiful, and my mom was like, what?
So he put a bed with a bookmark on it, and that was...
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, so this dude on day 6 decided to masturbate.
By the way, that's about how long it takes to.
Now the school has received death threats against him, and people are attempting to break into the school to confront him over the project. He also vomited inside the box. He's doing a lot of things inside the box.
What's in the box? It's a naked guy masturbating, and he puked in his own puke. Oh! I'd rather it be Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
He probably puked because he's lying in old jizz. That's disgusting.
By the way, that is the worst whiskey ever. Old jizz. Oh, it's horrible.
Well, it depends on who you ask. This guy.
Did you get the 18-year-old old jizz? Oh my God, it is smooth. Smooth.
Ew.
My uncle had a 22.
There's a kid named Bud Weiser, B-U-D.
Okay.
Last name Weiser. He's now been arrested for trespassing at the Budweiser Brewery. Just thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute little story. And I just wonder...
His name was Budweiser.
His parents named him... His last name's Weiser, so they named him Bud because they're assholes.
Yeah, or they're my dad, and they really enjoy drinking.
He crashed his car into the fence and was attempting to break into the brewery grounds on Saturday. And then he fought with the guards. But...
What do you just go? Hey, I live here, man. My name is on the building. I live here, Dick. Let me go.
What if he was drunk on Budweiser?
That'd be great. Ironically, it was Heineken. Weirdly enough,
refuses to drink
yeah, he
Budweiser.
refuses to drink Budweiser. Totally. What is it about parents that name their kids something weird like that? What do you think? It's a funny joke for 3 seconds in the birthing room, but that people go through with stupid names. They don't understand that they are just buying a future therapist a ski boat for their
That's what I was
child.
just thinking. It's totally their fault. What are you expecting?
Yeah. Your kid's the one that's gonna be the weird kid that's gonna get naked in a box and masturbate, and you wonder why. Because you gave him a stupid name when he was born. Give him something cool.
Did you guys, by the way, see, speaking of Star Wars, because I know that he's totally geeked out about this.
Yeah, I'm a
coming
little
up.
geeked out, but I'm
Are
gonna
you?
hold off. Yeah, oh my kid, come on, it's my life. Star Wars, it's a big
It's your
thing.
life?
From 1977. I saw the very first day it opened in 77.
I would suggest you get a new life then, because what? It's your life?
It's it's my right now. It's my cinematic life. Yes.
It's apparently Fetus's life too.
He's lost his mind
blown.
about it,
He's
yeah.
dancing.
Yeah,
right
Fetus is every day he goes, so 12 days of Star Wars. Every day he's just
Oh
saying,
my
so
gosh.
50 days of Star Wars. Yeah, it's a little weird.
now. Okay, well,
It's like having an 8th grader work for you.
it's exactly. It's not like it is exactly having. Let's talk about Feety on the road. Let's talk about it. Super.
Because we've
cute.
been on the road, guys. We're actually doing the podcast from a road trip. If you came in late, we're doing it from this theater tour.
If you came in late, even though it's not live. I mean, it's recorded live, but it's recorded.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't hear it at the beginning because some people just turn off my Armageddon updates.
Yes.
He's an idiot.
So we're day 5 of a tour.
Day 5 of a tour,
Feety's
yes.
first time going on the tour. And it's super cute. He's super. You said, I can't believe how wide-eyed he is about everything. So last night we walked into a hotel, and in the foyer they had like a glass wall water fountain, like a lot of hotels.
It was basically
might have.
12 or 15 feet high, 8 feet wide. It was just sheets of glass, and water was cascading down it. And,
Right.
and Fetus is next to me, and he goes, "What?" He goes, "They have a glass waterfall inside? What?" And I'm looking at him. I thought he was playing the rube, but it turns out he's kind of a rube.
No. Today we checked into this hotel, and what did he say when he walked into his room?
Oh, the room. He looks at me. I go, "How's your room?" And he goes, "It's nice. They have a robe. It's a robe." Like it was like, well, come on, man. I mean,
I've
it's
never stayed in places this nice before. It's really nice.
he's never stayed in places this nice before. Well, good. I'm glad we're gonna bring. He's gonna be 10 years from now. He's just gonna be this bitter guy, just really jaded.
Of course.
But right now we love who you are. We love that you're just wee. But it makes me think. Like when I came into this room, I was like, this is a nice room. But after going to your room and you were with the robe, I'm like, this is a really nice room. It kind of actually tuned me up a little bit. I appreciate my life a little better because of the Fetus.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Star Wars. So there was a stormtrooper. You know how on Hollywood Boulevard people are out there in costume?
Yeah. In front of Grumman's, everybody.
Did you see this? It was actually Mark Hamill.
In front of Grumman's, really?
Yeah.
He's in a stormtrooper costume.
And
walking
people
around
had
talking
no
to
idea.
people. Yeah.
That's wicked cool. Did someone film that? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, here's the sad part. Mark Hamill actually has to do that for money now.
You're so mean. You're so mean.
Now, what happened with Mark Hamill? Let's go, Feedy. Let's go.
He's a super successful cartoon voice actor.
Yeah, he does some great voiceover stuff, right?
Yeah.
But so he got in a bad accident after the second Star Wars movie.
The first one.
First one. And the second one, he looked a little weird. They had him in a hood some of the time.
What kind of accident?
He got in a really, really bad car accident between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. And so they kind of made it so he got attacked by a monster, and that explained it, why he was all messed up looking.
Is he okay?
Well, he's okay, but he almost died when that happened. But he's okay.
Oh.
And he's had made so much money over the years. I mean, he's only in a few other movies.
Yeah, he just went away, right?
Corvette Summer. He did
Whatever
Corvette
that
Summer. You haven't seen Corvette Summer? Then you have not lived
No,
until
I've
you have
definitely
seen.
lived. I've
Oh, you
definitely
have to
been
see
living.
Corvette Summer. Yeah,
A
people who
life outside
people.
of Star Wars.
I want you to go to Facebook or go to the ChristopherTitus.com or the Titus podcast page and post some pictures of Corvette Summer. We got to find it. Corvette Summer is one of the coolest movies ever. It really is.
I mean, probably not. You'll watch it now and be like, "Wow."
So
that
then
is
he got
crap.
he's been doing so much voiceover work. He's made a great living. He's made a great living off of the Star Wars appearances, and now he's going to be in this new one.
He's in none of the previews right now, though. He's in absolutely none of the No one has any idea like what he's doing in this movie.
I have a prediction. He goes to the dark side like his dad. I have a prediction that in this movie that Luke actually leaves, because even in the previews with the other characters, he's not in them. You know, I have a feeling that Luke does what
Mark
his dad
Hamill
did.
is not in any of these, right?
No,
Yeah.
he will be.
Oh, he will be
Yeah.
in
The
new
last
ones?
three he wasn't in though,
No.
Right,
because those were prequels. That was before the whole thing.
but they're going to put him in these, right? Okay, because he's supposed to be older in the ones coming out now. Okay,
You know what's
many
weird? It's
freaking
like
Star
talking to
Wars
you about
movies?
Star Wars. It's like you talking to me about the new Louboutin shoe line. It does. You just get annoyed. You just if I go what? How high's a heel? You just like, you know what? We're not talking about this anymore. We're just not going to talk about Star Wars anymore with you. Okay?
Thank
me and
you.
Fetus will talk about it. I'll get my updates from him, and I'm going to take my son to see it, and you don't have to go.
Fetus? You're gonna take Fetus?
Fetus and my other son too. Yes.
Oh. Do you guys need a free penis tape measure?
Absolutely.
I already have one.
There is a clinic in Sweden, because they're always way ahead of everything. They are working on taking new measures for STD prevention. They are handing out free penis tape measures so that young men can be properly fitted for condoms. The devices, they're saying they promote better sizing and less slippage, and that helps to prevent STDs. They're being distributed free because of World AIDS Day. So they say to arrive at the right thickness measurement, which is key for condom wear, users have to go take this tape measure, get an exact measurement when it's erect. So you're not measuring the length, you're measuring the circumference.
You know what? It's weird enough for me when I go to a tailor and he does that weird crotch thing down to see my length. I don't think I want to go to a
If
tailor.
they had just done this in geometry for me, circumference, not length, length times width equals this
Right,
is
you'd have got it.
Pythagorean theorem. If you take the length of a penis,
If they
times
just said
the-
in class, all right, guys, we're going to have to partner up and everyone get a penis measurer.
Yes.
Boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. Now we're going to measure.
Because back then you could have said boy, girl, but that would be offensive now.
Yeah.
Yes, I would have been in geometry every day. I would have aced it.
We would have aced it, yeah. And the guys would have shown up. No one would have cut class. Nobody would have cut class at
Right.
all.
No, well, some guys.
Some guys would have cut class. You're right. I wouldn't have.
Oh my gosh. Then therein lies the problem: is that every guy has that attitude, even when they have no foundation for it.
Yeah, the problem is that that attitude, you could have killed all that attitude by just having that class.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Because you can live in your mind a lot, but once you're in geometry class and you have one of the cheerleaders measuring your thickness, and it's not living up to everybody else, and I hope they didn't grade you on a curve. They would have to.
Oh my gosh. What is it? Never mind. We'll quit that.
Your mind went 9 places
It did.
just then.
Actually, I was thinking a protractor would work very well for measuring the end of it. No. Oh, Ryan says no. Okay.
Ew.
Oh, your favorite guy is back in the news, George Zimmerman. He's now being investigated for harassment after tweeting naked pictures of his ex-girlfriend because he is a class act.
I'm so glad that we got let this guy off because he's shown that from the Trayvon thing on that he has just been an upstanding citizen. That George Zimmerman by far has been just the exemplary human on the planet. That he's not caused any more trouble or been an arrogant asshole. I really love that George Zimmerman has continued to show us what being a man full of integrity really is. Thank you, George Zimmerman.
Yeah. So what he did was he tweeted naked pictures of his ex, whose name he gave. Her name was Heather. He said that she stole from him and cheated on him with a, quote, dirty Muslim. He gave her phone number. He gave her email address and put up naked pictures of her. So he got banned from Twitter, and now he's under investigation for harassment. Nice guy, right?
I love the guy.
So all you people that wrote in and attacked me because I was so against him and fighting for Trayvon's rights, even though he wasn't alive to fight for them himself,
Right.
bite me.
Yeah, suck it.
This story was sent in by Nick Katsouros, I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
Canadian jackpot winner dies after attempting to gold plate his balls. You should see this guy.
This
really
is
awful.
The Onion. There's no way that's real.
It's viralcovert.com.
That's a
Justin
lie.
Ryder from Alberta, Canada, has died of medical complications after attempting to gold plate his genitals because he won $598,556,000 jackpot.
This is a lie. There's no way that's real. You'd have to get molten metal. You'd have to. It's molten metal. You have to dip your sack into molten metal, and not that.
It says he used a professional automotive gold plater.
It's not a doctor. It's not a doctor.
Unfortunately,
He used a custom automotive gold plater. All right. So my buddy Phil down at the shop is going to take my balls and gold plate them.
lead-based paint poisoning was actually the cause of death on the autopsy.
Okay, I'm calling bullshit on that story, or bullshit basically on that story.
Sorry. I'm just saying, it's, write in, people. Go find out if it's real
I'm
or
so
not.
glad the internet never lies. The internet is always so truthful.
It's the holiday season.
Gonna make some ornaments of my balls. Gonna hang them down. Gonna sing around while we show them at the Christmas tree. Then we're gonna measure the girth and
With a protractor.
see what they're worth. 'Cause they're gold-plated balls. Hey!
Ba-dum-bum.
That was the worst improv we've ever done.
So, next place that you're going to be able to see us is Chicago, Schaumburg Improv, December 18th through the 20th.
And then New Year's, we're going to be at Tempe, Arizona, at the Improv. Tempe Improv, one of the best clubs, guys. Get out there for New Year's. This new show is killing it now. I can't wait to do that gig. Also, do me a favor. Go to iTunes. iTunes? Go to iTunes. Go to iTunes and review the podcast every time you. By the way, as Bombshell says, every time you review us on iTunes.
A maxi pad gets its wings.
Yeah, every time you review us on iTunes, a maxi pad gets its wings. Cling. Also, go to ChristopherTitus.com for the best DVDs for Christmas. We've got all 6 specials are out there. Oh, except for a 5th annual End of the World tour. Yeah, we don't have 5th annual anymore.
We will be able to download it soon, though.
Yeah, you'll be able to download
start
soon.
digital download.
There's going to be, in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a bonus. We're doing a one-off 1,000 run of Love is Evil as a greeting card. It'll be a greeting card when you open it. Love is Evil will be inside. So if you have someone who's going through a horrible breakup or divorce or nightmare relationship, you'll have a really nice Christmas gift for them. Give us about 9 days on that. Also, what else? Oh, on Facebook, The Real Christopher Titus. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Titus Nation. I know it's a very unfortunate, arrogant choice of handles, Titus Nation, but it's at Titus Nation. Follow us there, and you can follow Bombshell at
Ray Bradley on Twitter and Instagram.
and you can follow the Fetus
At the Ryan Farmer.
at the Ryan Farmer. So I think this has been a good day.
Well, we'll see. We have a show in 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, you're starting to panic a little bit.
I
can
am.
see.
I'm starting to get show
so
anxiety.
So you need to know what happens, guys. Before every show, about 2 hours before, there's this weird gut-wrenching pit of our stomach feeling that we're going to suck because every night we go on stage, it kind of feels like death is approaching every time. Then you get the first
Fight or
joke.
flight.
Yeah, fight or flight. Then you get the first joke out and everything's fine. So we're going to be in Cincinnati tonight. We're going to be in Schaumburg in 2 weeks at the Improv outside of Chicago. And then we're going to be in Tempe Improv on New Year's. I'm going to say it again. Do you have anything you want to wrap up with? Why don't you wrap up on this kind of close to Christmas, post-Thanksgiving podcast?
It's the holiday season.
I got to come up with a new song. So next week we'll be doing our Christmas song. I will do my Christmas song parody next
Yay.
week. I think I already have it written, and it'll be horrible, and you guys
And
will
awesome.
be forced to sit there. Horrible and awesome, as they always are. Fetus, you got anything you want to say?
No.
That's, yeah, he's
Take
getting it
off that bathrobe. It's
Yeah,
weird.
dude. Yeah, dude. And you don't wear a bathrobe over your clothes, weirdo. All right, guys. I'm Christopher Titus. For myself, Bombshell Rae, and the Fetus. Later.
Peace out.
See ya.
Seriously, dude. You have a shirt, pants on, and terry cloth.
How do you know he has pants on?
That's right. 'Cause
Hey everybody, this is Willie Jello Johnson. I'm back. Yeah. Hey, do us a favor. When you're shopping online for Christmas for your people, do me a favor. Click through ChristopherTitus.com. Click through on the Amazon link, and then we get a little something, whatever you spend, which keeps the heat on and the lights on. And never forget, there's always room for Jello.